Hi, everybody. This is Hondo Carpenter from the Las Vegas Raiders Insider Podcast. Great to be with you today. Man, we've got so much to discuss. Uh, it is just going to be a Raider buffet of verbal goodies for you today. Cannot wait to get into this. Before we get started, though, I want to address a couple of very quick things as my phone goes off. I'm sorry about that. Make sure that gets turned off. But I got a couple of very important things I want to discuss with you. Number one, I had the privilege on Tuesday night of being in San Antonio with the San Antonio chapter of the Black Hole. What a great event that was. Terrific event, great people, amazing people. And I have gotten the chance of meeting so many Raider fans across the country, and every one of you have been great. But I salute the San Antonio chapter. They killed it. It was the best one we've ever done. Um, it was just fantastic and gave away some things, gave away a pair of black Air Force Ones. By the way, I think those will be shipped out Monday, is when I was told I'd get them to the winner. But I just want to take a quick second and shout out to the San Antonio Black Hole chapter. Awesome, awesome people. Great event. My wife was with me, Dexter was with me, and they were so warm and kind and just great. So thank you to all of you again. It's the last I'm going to say, but they gave me something that I wanted to show all of you. And if you're not familiar, first of all, San Antonio is a very big military town, and it was. And thank you to all of our veterans, precious people. And in the military, they do something that's called a challenge coin. And what they do is they give away to people uh, coins in the military, and it means something. It means, hey, this is you're part of us. And they have what I believe is the coolest challenge coin. I've been given a lot of challenge coins by military members for speaking to military and all that kind of stuff. But this is one, and I know because of how this works that there it's Al Davis, and then you flip it around, and there's some of the Raider greats. And I was just so completely dumbfounded that they gave this to me. Was absolutely amazing. And they gave me two. And they have a rule in their chapter that if you're caught without your challenge coin, you've got to buy it the next round. And I'm going to permanently keep one in my bag. The other, though, is going to go into Dexter's memory box because I want him to have it. But what an awesome gift from those people. And, they was so funny. They've got their own koozies. They're giving away koozies. And it was just fun to be with them. And I want to just take a minute and tell all of you thank you. If you're part of a Black Hole chapter anywhere in the world, if you can get enough people, we'll come in and do an event with you. Would love to come in and meet with you. And if you don't have a Black Hole chapter where you're at, I don't know how to start it. I got a couple of people that have asked me. I'm not paid by the team, I'm not paid by the Black Hole, but I would get one going. These clubs are pretty awesome. All right, I want to get in now on multiple subjects today. First of all, oh, and by the way, I want to thank after Tuesday night, Wednesday and Thursday, we met with some friends and was able to do a little bit of hunting out in the hill country of Texas. Um, and I just want to thank the friends that came there and were with us and appreciate enjoyed all you guys and spending time with you. Um, I want to talk to you about a couple of things. First of all, prior before going to San Antonio, I had investigated on what the cost for the Raiders to move up to one would be. And I was told if you go back and look at the San Francisco model when they picked Trey Lance, I think that was in 2021. And what the cost was three ones and a two. The problem is the Raiders have to move to one because if you're not sold that there are three generational talents, um, then if there's only two, then you got to get into the top two places. And at the time, I said to you, Washington wasn't moving. Washington was not moving. Add to that, so you couldn't go to three because what if Washington takes one of the two? Now, I know there are some people who just want to move up and get a quarterback because they're just tired of whatever the Raiders have had. But you don't move up and pay that price if you're not sure. So you have to go to one. And it was, remember, San Francisco went from 12 to 3. This would be going from 13 to 1. It's bigger. So again, they told me of that day the price would be probably 3 1s and 3 2s. And so that one would include this year's 2024, 25, and 26, and the 3 2s from 24, 25, and 26. That would be the cost. And if you think somebody up there is worth it, you do it. Now, I've learned a couple things. I have been told by a general manager that the Bears have probably made a decision now. Now, remember, I told you before they hadn't made a decision, that they're probably going to be moving on from Justin Fields. So that takes Caleb Williams probably out of it because I'm hearing Washington wants probably Jaden Daniels. That's not 100%. They haven't made a decision, but what I'm hearing from NFL people is the speculation is that they would probably take Jaden. Again, I don't think that's settled yet. So then you have to decide, would the Patriots stay and take Dre May or Jaden, who's ever available? Or is there then a possibility that on draft night you move up to 3 if whoever you think is a generational talent drops? Certainly a possibility, but just like with Chicago, the other day, you could have probably gotten the pick. Now they're moving away from that they're going to use it. So price of poker continues to go up. Just wanted to make you aware of that. I want to address another issue. Antonio Pierce, AP, made some very strong comments about going after Patrick Mahomes, cutting the snake off the head, whatever. I'm going to be very blunt. I was stunned at some of the email and the reaction that I got from Raider fans. Why doesn't he just shut up? He shouldn't be saying this. Okay, well, hold on, time out. I don't need to ask your age if you're saying that. I already know your age. And I'm going to tell you why. Because while I'm not a fan, I'm certainly very much respect the Raiders. And does anybody not remember a guy named Al Davis? Within the first few plays of the game, the quarterback must go down and he must go down hard. AP said nothing wrong. He's tired of being the grandma's rug in front of the door. Now, I don't care what color you are. I don't care where you grew up. I don't care about your socioeconomic background or your politics. Everybody's grandma had that wore down rug in front of the front door. Had been there forever. And you just, it was grandma's rug. And growing up in Michigan, you always take your um shoes off because you bring in the snow and all that or whatever. It's just something that I've learned other places don't do it as much, but in Michigan growing up, that's what you did. And EP's just like, I'm tired of being the rug. Those are not his words. I'm that me explaining where he's coming from. I'm tired of everybody kissing the ring of Patrick Mahomes. Does anybody not remember? And again, I'm speaking euphemistically, fictitiously in the voice of AP, but does anybody not remember we just whooped him on Christmas Day and he's sending a message. Now, this is brilliant on Antonio Pierce's part because he wasn't calling anybody to be dirty. He made no mantra of being dirty. He made no statement of we're going to play dirty. Uh, we're not doing that. We're not doing it. Okay. We're going after you. And he's coming. Now, here is why it was brilliant. because Patrick Mahomes is going to think about that. The Chiefs are going to be thinking about that all off season. That's going to brew. The rivalry's coming back. The Raiders won that one now. Now it's back. Now they're letting him know we're going to get physical with you. Man, the old Olivia Newton-John song, gonna get physical. I mean, we're coming now. And this is football. And you may get bailed out. Okay? We're coming. Obviously, I'm not. But I'm talking about the message again that AP sending. We're bringing Patrick Graham and his merry band of misfits, and we're going to get physical with you. Now, I have a buddy who does not play for the Chargers, doesn't play for the Raiders, plays for another team, and he sent me this text after AP. I got to read this to you. It's so funny. He says, "Hey, I think this is hilarious. Pierce's comments. Hey, Kermit, we're coming." Now, it's not me. I'm a professional. I'm not going to call Patrick Mahomes that, but I just thought it was funny that this is the mentality of even how other NFL football players saw it. We're going to get physical with you. We're going to get physical with you. We're coming after you. We want a piece of you. Now, the NFL was asked by I think it was by Pro Football Talk, Mike Florio, they had anything they wanted to say, and they said no comment. What is there to say? It's a physical game. And for some of you saying, I just wish you'd shut up. No, 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 no. Remember who you are. You are the Raiders. You're the team that physically puts in domination. You're the ones who are supposed to bring the fight. You're the ones who are supposed to bring the old school. You're the ones who are supposed to own the line of scrimmage. You're the ones who are supposed to put the quarterback down. AP not only didn't say anything wrong, I think what he said was right. You don't think he just bought 6 months of free rent in Patrick Mahomes' head? I do. You don't think he just bought 6 months inside Patrick Mahomes' face? Inside between his ears? About the Raiders? He did nothing wrong. He sent a message. We're not intimidated by you. We respect you. And again, I'm speaking in his voice. It's not Hondo. But he's saying, listen, we respect you. Max Crosby said he wanted you to win the Super Bowl. Well, we're just letting you know we're here. And we beat you on Christmas. And we're working all off season knowing we got to unseat you. AP gave them ultimate respect, but no fear. Dear Lord God, how many of you, like me, want to see the Chiefs at Arrowhead open 2024 hosting the Raiders? Come on now. Come on. If you love football, I don't even care if you're a Raider or a Chief fan. Knowing that there's a little bit of bad blood and a little bit of that's why we love the game. That's why we love football. It makes it fun. Let's get out there and get physical. Let's get out there. Get it on. You ain't going to have Max Crosby at 60% next year. You're going to have some new Raiders. Man, I'll tell you what, I love the game of football. I enjoy the game of football. It's just a great sport. The NFL is by far, and I'm going to tell you for years, I was a huge college football guy, but college football is just ruining itself. They are just a circular firing squad, and the NFL just continues to ascend. And I love this new direction. D'Amico Ryans, Dan Campbell, Antonio Pierce, this new generation of no, we're not going to be buttoned up and not say anything in a press conference. We'll talk. I love that Antonio Pierce is talking and getting his point across. I like that he's making it clear. We didn't win the division. We got to win the division. But we ain't afraid of nobody. I like that. That impresses me. That sends a message to me that it's old school football. All right, let's get to some of these. Let's get to some of these emails I got from you guys. First one comes from Stephen. Hey, Hondo. My question is, in the past, you stated that new coaches should be judged after 20 games coached. Since Coach Pierce got 9 games as an interim, does that 20-game rule apply, or is it extended to 30? Also, do you think Mark Davis expects the Raiders to be a playoff team? Thanks, Stevens. 2 things. He was an interim. He did not have his staff. He did not have OTAs, mini camps, training camps, free agency, draft, trade deadline. No. He was a babysitter of the team. His 20 games start next year, first game. As far as Mark Davis, do I think he thinks? I think Mark Davis's mentality is we're going to make the playoffs every year. Do you want him to have any different mentality? I don't think he should. Don't think he should at all. Next one comes us from James in Indiana. Hondo, do you think the Raiders will draft a QB after round 1 and also sign a free agent QB? It will be or I think what he's trying to say is, or will it be the opposite way around? That's James in Indiana. I expect them to add a veteran of some sort, and I expect them to draft one. The quarterback position is too important. You almost have to be drafting one every year until you find one, and then you keep drafting until you find that backup guy. It's too important. Way, way too important. Last one comes us from Rudy G. Hondo, with the Raiders not having to pay the guaranteed money of Jimmy, do you think they attack free agent market at quarterback a little different? No. Nope. I don't. It's nice to have that extra money, but they weren't really in salary cap hell. Don't expect it in the least bit. I expect them to keep going forward, keep moving forward, doing what they do. I think there's lots of different options here. I want to tell you that this is Friday morning early. They are looking under every rock. They are looking under everything that they can find. And they are absolutely looking at every decision to make. I do not believe, I knew the other day for a fact that they had not yet made a final decision on what they're doing. I do not believe they're at that point right now either. I think they're zeroed in on what they want to do, but no, I don't think it 11.25 extra million is a lot of money. I'm not pretending it's not, but they are not going to attack it any different. They know the vitality. They know the importance of the quarterback position. They're going for the quarterback position, and they want to make sure it's as best as it can be. And however they do it is going to be what they think is best. Now, last one comes in from someone named Beth. Beth wants to know, Beth is in Oxnard, California. Beth says, Hondo, do you think Aiden O'Connell will be given a chance to be the starting quarterback next year? Yep. He'll be given a chance. But he's got to earn it. Got to earn it. Period. But he'll be given a chance. So again, Thank you for the emails. I'm going to be trying to, answering more of those. Remember, you could send me emails, but you got to include your name. Spartan Nation Mail, MAIL at yahoo.com. Just put in the subject line Raiders Q&A. But I appreciate all of you. There you go. I wanted to answer some of your questions. I wanted to address the AP comments because I was just stunned. I was literally stunned watching the reaction of some Raider fans. And I would challenge some of you. I know you're young. Go watch all the YouTube videos you can find of interviews with Al Davis. Please, please, please go look at what the Raiders were, because that's what AP grew up with, and that's what he's bringing back. Someone said to me, what's the best way of understanding AP? Go watch Al Davis videos. That's what AP embodies. It's what he's bringing to the table. It's who he is. It's what he is. It's how he rolls. It's how he's going to get things done. So it's going to be great. I have no problem with what AP said. If he'd gone out there and said, we're going to be dirty and cheat, yeah, I would have had a problem with that. But he didn't. He said, we got to take the head off the snake. We got to be physical. I mean, what do you want? The guy talks about ill intent, violent. That's football. Listen, there has been so many people trying to ruin this game. And I have said for years, if you take away, listen, we want the game to be as safe as it can be. But at the end of the day, it's still football. It's still football. It's meant to be played in a certain way. It's grown men doing things to each other that would send them to prison anywhere else outside of those white lines. You play this game hostile, agile, violent, ill intent. That's just how you play it. Years ago, before I even covered the Raiders, I remember talking with a NFL legend, and he had known that I was friends with Matt, and I was Matt Millen, excuse me, and I was just talking about playing against Matt and all that. And he talked about when you played the Raiders, he goes, these were his words, and I don't have his permission to share it. But or I'd give you his name. But he talked about, they always give the home team a 3-point edge just because you're the home team. And he said he thought the Raiders always also had a 3-point edge because of the way that they played. They were so physically dominating. And that's coming back now. And as a Raider fan, I would think you'd be like, oh, yeah. So some of you OGs, and I've met you, and if you don't know what that means, I learned that this year in the J-Lot. It means original gangsters. And it doesn't mean that they're members of a gang, just the old school Raiders, OGs. Some of you OGs need to take some of these young pups under your arms and teach them a little bit so they can become Raider dogs. And this is what the Raiders are. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's not dirty. You say, well, but it's going to make the NFL target us. You don't think you're targeted already? It's all right. AP did the right thing. The fact that the NFL said we're not to Pro Football Talk, no comment. I mean, this is just stuff that's making this offseason. I'm already jacked up, ready to go into next season already because I love the game of football. You could send me to cover a Jacksonville Jaguar game against whomever, and I'd be excited because I just love the game. But to get to cover the Raiders as your beat writer, what an incredible blessing you give me. You're darn right I'm excited about it, and you're darn right I take it seriously. That's an honor. that you folks give me. And I understand it's an honor and a privilege. And man, when you can cover it and the games mean more, you just remember something. You Raider fans are running around and you've got your challenge coins or you've got your Raider gear on. Cool. Cool. And you're thinking about it all year because that's how Raider fan is, man. Raider fan is just jacked up about football. My wife and I were going through the airport, and my wife happened to be wearing some Raider gear, and my son Dexter wearing some Raider gear. And all the way down the hall, this lady yells out, "Raiders!" My wife yells it back in the middle of the airport. It's a lifestyle with you people. I respect that. And now for the next 6 months, you don't think every single day when Patrick Mahomes gets up, he's thinking, you get a lot of love taps. I'm going to tell you right now, Raider fans should want to play this game to start the season. I guarantee you the Chiefs don't, because they may win, but they're going to feel it. You don't want to start your season getting physically beat up like a punching bag. Raiders are in their head. That's a good place to be. In AP, wrote the rent check. AP wrote the rent check. In the words of AP, y'all remember Rocky 2, the movie Rocky 2, and it starts with Apollo Creed and Sylvester Stallone. You know what? No, maybe it wasn't Rocky 2. I think it was Rocky 3. Excuse me, Rocky 3. And Apollo trains him. And Apollo says, "Okay, I'm going to train you." Yeah, it was right. It was at the end of Rocky 3. But Apollo Creed says, "Listen, I just want one thing from you, Stallion," talking about Rocky Balboa, the Italian stallion. "When this is over, I got one favor." And then they get at the end of the movie, Apollo just wants to box him again, alone in a gym. Alone in a gym. He goes, "Yeah, you're the champion now. I used to be, but that's hard for me to deal with, Rock. No one's around. I just need you and I to spar." He's lost to Rocky. Rocky's the champ. And Apollo Creed, who happened to be Carl Weathers, a Raider, by the way, who recently passed. Carl Weathers reaches up and goes, "Ding, ding." I'm going to tell you what Antonio Pierce did with his comments. He said, "Hey, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, who's chasing Taylor Swift all around the world this offseason. Hey, Patrick Mahomes. Ding, ding." In the words of that old love song, let's get it on. I think this is great. And I hope you do too. Man, I want you to have a wonderful weekend. I'll be at the combine. By the way, Braden Reedy, Aiden Champion, Carter Landis, 3 of my staff are going to be with me in Indianapolis. We are going to bring you so much coverage from the combine. You don't want to miss any of it at si.com/NFL/Raiders. You can also follow me on IG at Hondo SR, X, formerly known as Twitter, at Hondo Carpenter. We're going to have you so locked in on combine coverage. Locked in. It's going to be great. But I appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you enjoy the. We're going to have some great podcasts coming for you up this weekend. But again, thank you to all of you. If you're not a member of a Black Hole chapter, join one. If you don't have one in your area, email one of them and ask them how to start. I have no idea. But I want you thinking about this all weekend. Every time you think of Raider football, every time you think, "Man, I wish it wasn't the offseason right now. I'm ready to go." I want you to think about AP's comments And I want you to think about him now living inside Patrick Mahomes rent free. And I want you to picture him. Ding, ding. Let's get it on.